There's so much propaganda and mistrust in the media, misinformation as they call it. So sometimes you see videos like these and you don't know what to think. So let's take a look at this video.
Yes, sir.
About the Haitians.
Yes, sir.
Good thing to ask. You go next block down where Rigo's is.
Yeah.
You can smell the raw sewage.
Down at Rigo's.
These 120-year-old pipes can't handle all the sewage that's getting pumped in now.
Why is all the sewage getting pumped in?
From all the people. That came
Really?
here. Yeah.
So what? It's one block down.
One block. You just missed it. Rigo's right over.
Okay.
Go up. Go down.
You can smell it.
All throughout the day, different places.
And that's a new thing. Really? What's your name?
Dan.
Dan, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Do you mind? We have you on camera. Is that all right? If you mind if we?
I don't care. It's
Okay.
a lot of things you need to look at. This is an old town.
Yeah.
And the utilities. That's a lot of.
Are you native from around here?
Oh yeah, I was born and raised across the river.
So this is only an issue this like last 2 years, right? That's when it kind of started happening. They all showed up.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that grosses me out.
That's gnarly.
Yeah.
I have to imagine Charleroi wasn't like that before.
Not that I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like the whole strip now basically just intermittently smells like human feces. Awesome.
So it's very interesting. You notice in that town, the guy in the car, he was commenting on the smell in the town of Springfield, and he commented that the sewage likely can control, 10, 15 people to a house that the Haitians are now living. And so if you might remember, there was a Springfield resident that called in to us, and she complained about the same things. So if you took that as fake news and misinformation and just one Springfield resident just complaining about something that really isn't there, I invite you to take a look at this video. It's on our stream in the immigration playlist, and let's take a listen to what this Springfield resident had to say here.
For the high school down, not for that purpose, but I'm sure it's the government that's bought that land and they're building housing developments for them. And they're cramming all of these people, I'm talking 20 people, into a 2-bedroom household. The sewage system can't even hold that because people are shitting and pissing outside because the sewage system can't handle 20 people living in a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Literally, they're shitting and pissing, and it's disgusting. It's awful. The neighbors of these people live in filth now because of that, because they're cramming so many people in one, like these houses. They can't accommodate. There's no way.
So you've seen 10 or 15, have you seen that personally, like 10 or 15 people in a house, one house?
Absolutely, I see it all the time when I drive to work.
Wow.
They congregate outside because there's no way 20 people can sit in a 2-bedroom place. There's no possible way.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm a landlord and I get calls like this, but wow, we've been covering this for a very long time. And so that was a resident in Springfield, more or less echoing everything that the guy said in the car. And that brought me to an article that I read the other day. I think I read it yesterday. It's from Zero Hedge here. I'll share this tab with you. Resident of Pennsylvania manufacturing town, they're talking about Charleroi here, exposes the reality of the Haitian job replacement. And so down in the article, this guy talks about Charleroi. We've covered Charleroi. The schools are scrambling to hire translators, so on and so forth. That was Donald Trump speaking about Charleroi. Charleroi, he was the city council member. We've covered all of this. And then there's one article that I want to bring one video, I think, from this article that I wanted to bring your attention to. But here's this tweet from Zero Hedge talking about how the native-born U.S. workers have lost 1.4 million jobs over the same period. The foreign-born workers have gained, 3 million jobs. So quite a bit of replacement there in the job market. You can see this chart here. foreign-born versus native-born workers to jobs that apply to them. So in this article, there's an individual being quoted saying Haitians are being shuffled to and from the food packaging plants via a complex network of vans. There must be dozens and dozens of these vans. Now, we talked about these vans, I think, in Sylacauga. And here's a picture of the vans, Wellington Staffing, LLC. You see those? And we're going to get into a video that basically shows you everything. So here's some more posts from the Charleroi Rambler. When we talked to the Charleroi resident, she mentioned this Facebook page. You can take a look at and see all of the things that the Haitians are doing in Charleroi. Another car wreck in Little Haiti, driving on the wrong way on the one-way street. You can see it's all of the documentation there. Haitians with alligators walking down the street. See the alligator there. And here you see just a car crashing into a parked car. And here you see, wow, a tipped over guy. You notice the comments here. See what they said? They said a Haitian can't be blamed for this, but I mean, this photo says it all. In sandals too. We've talked about the sandals many, many times. You'll see the truck driver here in sandals. There you go. More free shit is the title of this. Charleroi baby shower to focus on helping Haitian migrants. This is again from one of their local publications there. You can see all this on the Charleroi Rambler. Haitian curb service is the title of this post on Facebook here. And you can see that here. There's a car just crashed into a house there. And someone posts ICE in the neighborhood today. I see multiple agents. In the local news, car crashes becoming concerning in Charleroi. I think we've covered this picture here. But here's the video that I want to play for you guys here. And I think you're going to hear and see some of the echoes, echoing some of the same things we've covered in many streams. So let's jump into this stream here.
They dance and they ride around, and the Chinese who are here, there's like a small section of a small group of Chinese. They have control over the vans, and so it's Sunday, so they're not here today. But there'll be all these parking lots will be full up. There'll be 20 vans here that hold maybe 12 people, 15 people.
Of Haitians.
Mainly Haitians. There's other ones like Philippines, and there's some from.
So thousands employed here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Thousands from all three. There's
Okay.
2 other plants in the other end of town, up in Spears. But this
is why they came to your town.
The big thing that's rubbing the residents of Charleroi is these illegals or these immigrants. They're not necessarily illegal. They were brought in through a government program, but they're getting all these benefits. They're getting housing assistance. They're getting food assistance. They're getting all this.
So
help.
possibly thousands a month.
Yeah, literally thousands of events. And at first they were all walking. Now they've pulled their money together. They've accumulated enough where they're buying cars, and they're getting cars from Ohio and out of state.
So you were saying that the accidents are incredible here.
The accident rate has gone up immensely.
And this guy goes on and on, and he more or less echoes a lot of the same things that the lady said. But what I want to focus on in this stream here is the shadowy network of NGOs supplies mega corporations with migrants to exploit cheap labor. You can see more of that in the video of the guy on YouTube. And I'll share that link in the description here. But what he was talking about are the vans on top of vans. You see many, many vans as he's riding around Springfield. Vans that are by Wellington Vans or something to that effect. And they are transporting the migrants to and from work. And he profiles the companies. Some of them are frozen food companies, things like that, providing food to Tyson, so on and so forth, beef, breakfast sausages, stuff like that. Anyway, so here's an article also by Zero Hedge. 1 week ago, and this is March 11th, so it's kind of an old article. And he's talking about the NGOs that are providing the resources and the transportation, all this to move the migrants from the border to these small towns. And it seems to me to be a kind of like a coordinated effort between the NGOs as well as the corporations, with a wink, wink, nod, nod by way of the government. Several NGO partnerships with mega corporations include Red Roof Inn, Royal Farms, Shopify, CSX Delta, DoorDash, Etsy, and even Bloomberg. Now, here's a company, organization. Now we're revealing how corporate interests have become deeply interconnected with immigration through a non-governmental organization called Tent Partnership for Refugees. And we're going to cover this on our longer stream today so that we can get feedback from some of our panelists, things like that. This NGO comprises more than 400 major multinational companies committed to hiring refugees. So you see all of the companies here, and I won't go into an exhaustive detail naming all these companies. You can find the link in the description. You'll be able to read this for yourself. In December 2022, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken signed a memorandum of understanding with Tent Partnership to expand economic opportunity for refugees in the private sector. You can see that here. Live, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken makes remarks on Tent Partnership for Refugees. That was December 12th, 2002. So the wheels have been in motion with this migration thing for quite a while behind the scenes. 10 million illegal migrants invaded the nation since Biden has opened the floodgates. And on. You can see the charts here. Foreign-born workers. I showed that chart to you last time. And I thought that this was an interesting, this is a picture. It looks like one of the pictures I took from the Roosevelt Hotel. But many people have commented that it's the businesses that are behind it. And other people have commented that it's the NGOs that are behind this. I think that we're seeing kind of a melding of the two, in that the NGOs and the corporations have found the sweet spot of profitability, bringing the migrants in, transporting them by van to work at the detriment of the citizens that live in these cities. There's one more article here, and this was about the company Boar Meat. I'm not sure any of you guys are familiar with it. It's deli meat. And they are closing their factory down in Jarrett, Virginia. And the reason why? Employees speak out after Virginia Boar's Head plant announced a shutdown. Now, why are they shutting down? Let's take a look. The Boar's Head deli meat plant in Jarrett, Virginia has been shut down indefinitely after being linked to a deadly Listeria outbreak. Now, hundreds of employees are without a job. People were crying, says Boarhead IT specialist Artie Mormon. It's very tough to go through something like this. So this is in Jarrett, Virginia, and then with a little bit more researching, you'll find another article here. Let's see if I have this article here. And this article here, this is from the Brooklyn Eagle, also reporting, because there are a lot of delis in New York, and they probably buy a lot of Boar's Head. You see that often. Boar's Head announces on Friday it is permanently closing at the center of a deadly Listeria outbreak that caused 9 deaths and sickened dozens of people earlier this summer. Government inspectors found 69 instances of non-compliance and grossly unsanitary conditions at the facility over the past year, ranging from the presence of mold and insects to residue from meats and dirty equipment. The Listeria strain was traced to a specific production process used for liverwurst, but then spread to other meat products, including bologna and turkey. It's one thing that makes this article interesting to me, or this Boar's Head issue, is I noticed this tweet here. Boar's Head brand meat prioritized hiring refugees, and now 9 Americans have died as a result. And so here's a link, says they are committed to hiring and training. Boar's Head is part of the Tent Coalition. We just heard about the Tent Coalition for refugees in the United States, exploring, hiring, training, and mentoring opportunities for refugees across the country. So I think this kind of brings it to a head in that we're going to be facing issues where there are going to be a lot of safety hazards or hazards due to food conditions, driving on the road as you see in Springfield and Charlottesville. And we're going to see the loss of jobs here due to some of this, as the Boar's Head is one of the first of many casualties we'll see in this fight for cheaper and cheaper labor. Once again, you can join us over at our longer stream, Going Trucking with HB. We'll be talking about all of these issues and more. Thank you again for joining.